there, it's Jenna here from Eat to Love, and this week I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the long-term relationship that we have with our meditation practice. This is for you whether or not you actually have a meditation practice right now, because I know that one of the major barriers that a lot of us feel to even starting is the fear that we won't be able to sustain it. But like the relationship that we have with our bodies, which I alluded to in a video a couple of weeks ago, and our relationship with food, which is not something that you can fix and forget about, but something you need to relate to in an ongoing way, our meditation practice is quite similar. And I wanted to share with you a little bit about what's been going on with me and my practice, to give you an example of the bumps and the ups and downs that we experience that can be expected with a meditation practice and that are perfectly okay and normal and wonderful. As part of the #MeToo movement, there have been some revelations about sexual abuse and cover-ups and a lot of just inappropriate behavior in the lineage of Buddhism that I have always felt a part of. It's where I took my refuge vow, where I took my bodhisattva vow. It's where I did all of my training and practice, primarily because I am just so inspired by the teachings. The lineage is called Shambhala, for those of you who don't know. And the Shambhala teachings are so beautiful and perfect, and try as I might, I cannot find fault with them, because they do encourage us to examine these teachings in our own lives and not take anything as truth without really experiencing it for ourselves. So I've taken that to heart, and yet I just keep coming back to these teachings and find that they have made my life so much better, not easier, but clearer in a sense, even in the midst of my confusion. So suffice to say that with these revelations about sexual abuse, I have felt extremely confused, because there's a cognitive dissonance for me when it comes to separating the teacher from the teachings, or the teachers from the teachings. And I have had a very difficult time figuring out who and what to trust. And as a result, my practice has suffered. Practice is always difficult to maintain, right? Because it's something that you need to continue to do and continue to engage with. And it's not always pretty or easy or comfortable. It encourages us to turn toward our most painful feelings and thoughts and experiences. So adding this additional layer of pain and confusion was very, very difficult for me. And I have gone through what I would call a sort of breakdown in my practice. Whereas over the last 10 years, I've basically been able to practice most days, even if it's just a minute or 5 minutes, some days as much as an hour. But I really lost it over the last couple of weeks as these new pieces of information came out. And in some ways, I was really distressed by that. And in other ways, I kind of feel like it's the right thing to happen right now. There's part of me that's always been afraid of letting my practice get too far from me, for fear of it not just breaking down, but breaking, and for fear of losing it, and that I just won't practice anymore. But there's something that I'm realizing is happening by my letting it become something else, I'm opening up to different things. I'm opening up to different ways of looking at practice, different ways of engaging with my practice, and different ways of even feeling about my practice. So I heard my partner in the other room the other day. I was making coffee in the morning, and he was playing with our son. He had given him this magnet game that is something you could just make into different shapes or build pyramids and structures and things like this. And my son was getting frustrated because the more he would try to build these tall structures, they would collapse. And Andrea, my partner, said to him at one point, it doesn't break, really. It just takes a different shape. And I was thinking about this, that this thing that he said as I was making coffee that morning, because I think that that's what's happening with my practice. Breakdown does not mean broken. And in allowing the breakdown to happen, my practice is taking a different shape, because what I find now is that I am very connected, very attuned to my relationship with my practice and what it means to me and what it means to my relationships, particularly as I practice with other people. That's been another thing, has been really connecting with other people, people that I have helped to teach, to learn how to teach meditation to others, connecting with their basic desire to be of benefit to others, and in so doing, connecting with my own basic desire to be of benefit to others, because that's what brought me to practice in the first place. Connecting with members of the Mami Sangha that I meet with once a week, and allowing it to just be what it is, and also really connecting with my body and what it has been telling me. For those of you who've been following me for some time know I had spinal surgery 2 years ago, and yesterday I woke up with terrible neck pain again, and I've come to see pain and other messages from the body as signals that something needs to be paid attention to. And meanwhile, I've also been reading The Body Awakening, or The Awakening Body by Reginald Ray, which puts forth the idea that the body is no separate thing from the spirit and from the spiritual practice, and indeed from the meditation practice. I'm also planning on providing free meditation instruction in my new office for anyone who's interested in coming and hearing the instruction and sitting together. So I don't know that these new ways of relating to my practice would have materialized had I not allowed my practice as it was a few months ago, or even just a few weeks ago, to break down and to take a different shape. So I wanted to share that with you because this will happen in your practice. Things come up in life and they either interfere with our practice for logistical reasons or for deeply spiritual and emotional reasons. And if we can take this concept of it not breaking but just taking a different shape, then we never really lose connection with the practice. So that's my little offering for this week. And as always, please let me know what your thoughts are about this. Let me know what other types of topics you'd like to hear about. And I will see you next time. Thanks.